I'm Ms. Nicole, and thank you so much for joining me for another STEAM story time. Today is going to be all about the colors of the rainbow and beyond. And we are going to have a lot of fun. We are going to be making some unicorn noodles, which I bet you've never had before, but they're going to be so cool. So stay tuned. Now, if you enjoy STEAM Storytime and would like to watch more Storytime content, well then, you can keep checking out our Facebook page every Monday at 10:30 a.m. Or you can also check out our YouTube channel with lots of Storytime videos, and it's the Findlay Library channel. Or you can check out our website, www.findlaylibrary.org, where we have a collection of STEAM Storytime videos as well as Storytime snippets. So you can check all of them out there on our children's page in our virtual Storytime area. So enough about all of that. Let's get started with today's fun, and let's get to exploring and investigating color together. But first, let's start with a song. Now, if you remember the song from last time, that's awesome. If you don't, or you haven't heard it before, that's okay too, because we're all learning. And the great thing about this being recorded is you can rewind if you want to hear the story again and sing along some more. So go for it. Let's begin singing. The more that we learn science, learn science, learn science, the more that we learn science, the happier we'll be. We'll know things and do things and explore many new things. The more that we learn science, the happier we'll be. Okay, let's do a little rhyming with colors, and you're going to have to take a good look at what you're wearing. Like, I know I have some pink and some blue and some white, and my shoes are black. What are you wearing? Well, take a look, figure out what colors you can see, because I'm going to have you do things with the colors that you're wearing. So, if you have any clothes, if your clothes have any red, put your finger on your head. All right, next up is blue. Anybody wearing blue? If your clothes have any blue, put your finger on your shoe. If your clothes have any green, anybody wearing green? Wave your hands so you'll be seen. Wave your hands to me. If your clothes have any yellow, smile like a happy fellow. Any yellow out there? Can I see you smiling? If your clothes have any brown, turn your smile into a frown. Oh, no. I don't see anybody frowning. Are you frowning? If your clothes have any black, put your hands behind your back. You see? Yep, I'm wearing black. I have black shoes on. Keep my hands behind my back. If your clothes have any white, clap your hands with all your might. Yay! Good job, friends. What a good color warm-up. Well, hi, friends. I have been having so much fun in my laboratory here, making up some yummy noodles that we are going to use for an experiment. I'm not going to eat these today, but I am going to have some fun with them. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing and what you might need. So first of all, I will be using a purple cabbage. You can find these at the grocery store. Maybe you have one at your house. We're also going to be using a cutting board, a knife. We are going to be working with the stove to cook the cabbage in some water, and then to cook up some noodles. I used vermicelli noodles, and those worked out okay, but I think it would probably be even better if you have any kind of clear noodles, which you can find at the grocery store. But vermicelli or other kinds of noodles will work too. The color just might not be as bold. And let's see, what else do we use? some baking soda. I used baking soda and lemon, but we will talk about this because there are other things you could use instead of those. So, what am I talking about? What do you need all of this stuff for, I wonder? Well, today we are making some really cool rainbow unicorn noodles that change color. Now, you might be wondering, why do they change color? How do they change color? How do I do this at home? Well, I'm going to tell you all of that, but I do want to first let you know and let parents know that this will be a hands-on project because we are chopping things and cooking things and dealing with hot boiling water. We are going to need some adult guidance or help. Adults know best what you are capable of doing safely, so let them guide you and let them take the lead now and then with this experiment. But I promise you, you are going to have a really good time with this, just like I did. So, first things first, you are going to take that cabbage and you are going to just roughly chop it up with the right size knife, and either that's an adult job or that's an adult watching you, and you're going to chop that up on your cutting board, and you don't need to chop it up too much, just a nice rough chop so that you have some pieces that you can stick into your pot on the stove. So once you have that, I rinsed off my cabbages because I like to know it's clean, even if I'm not eating it, I guess. But you might want to eat that cabbage later because you could stir fry it or cook it up with some butter and it would be delicious. But first of all, we're going to chop it, then rinse it, and then we are going to stick it into a pot on the stove with some water. And you will want plenty of water because you need that to cook your noodles once you're done cooking the cabbage. Now, as you are cooking that cabbage, which I did about 5 minutes on high, and then I did while it was boiling, and then I did about another 5, maybe even 10 minutes, a little bit lower. I saw kind of just like a slow boil, just so I could really get a lot of that blue color out of the cabbage. Did you notice that that water is turning a really cool shade of blue? Amazing. After we have really cooked down that cabbage, let's make sure we have a nice big bowl and a colander, which you drain things into, and we are going to drain the cabbage into the colander with that bowl underneath. Don't let the water go down the drain. That was the whole point of boiling that cabbage. We want that purple water. So after you have saved your purple water and set the cabbage aside for later, and you can do whatever you like with the cabbage now. It's all yours. You can eat it, whatever you like. We're gonna put that water back on the stove, heat it up to boiling, and then we are gonna take your vermicelli or your clear noodles or whatever noodles you're using, and we are going to pop some in there. And then we'll probably cook those. I cooked them a little longer than I normally would cook a noodle, and on a little bit lower heat, so I could really give it a chance to really suck up all of that blue water, because you're going to notice that your noodles that might have been yellow or clear in the beginning now are looking a little more, this is what mine look like now. Mine kind of look like a grayish blue, or you can kind of see good underneath there. They're kind of a bluish gray. A clear noodle will probably look even more blue, and that's exactly what we want. So then you will drain off your noodles, and you can save that water and do more noodles later if you want. It's up to you. And then what I did was, after I drained off the noodles, I grabbed a couple bowls, and I picked white ones, which I had because I thought I would really be able to see what's coming up next really well with that. So then we section out the noodles into these 2 bowls. You see that? Now at this point, you could try and eat these noodles. They might taste a little bit like cabbage and noodles, yum. But once we start putting things, like I'm going to put baking soda and quite a bit of it on some of my noodles, I would not eat those noodles after that. But some other things would be fine to eat, like lemon juice, which I'm also going to use a little bit of lemon juice. That's fine if you want to eat a little bit of that, but not all things, and maybe just don't eat these noodles. Just play with them and experiment with them. And then we have some I put in another bowl so I could kind of see, because we are going to change the color of our noodles. I bet you've never done this before, have you? I hadn't. But hard to believe, but these noodles will change color. Now, how and why do these noodles change color? Well, when we boiled that cabbage and you saw all of the purpley blue color kind of being leached out of the cabbage and into that boiling water, and the cabbage started to fade in color because the color was coming out of it into the water, then we put dehydrated noodles, which is just any noodle really is generally dehydrated if it hasn't been cooked. We stick it in there and that noodle absorbs the water and also absorbs the color. So as you can see, that noodle that was kind of a yellow color is now this purpley grayish blue color. Probably more like bluish gray, yeah. But the anthocyanin, that is our big word, anthocyanin, is that bluish pigment that came out of the cabbage. That's what makes the cabbage look purple, anthocyanin. It's also in blueberries. That's why blueberries look kind of a bluish purple color. Yeah. So that is that pigment, that color. And that pigment, that anthocyanin, is very special because it is something that is called a pH indicator. What in the world is pH, Ms. Nicole? Well, pH stands for the potential of hydrogen. And it's a scale from 0 to 14, from a very acidic to very basic or alkaline, and what your liquid might fall on. So I have a few different things, like I have lime juice. Now lime juice, do you think that's acidic or basic? It's acidic. And a lot of times acidic things, they taste sour. And we know that lime juice can taste sour. And lemons, they taste sour. They're both acidic. What else? We're going to use baking soda. And baking soda it's alkaline. It's kind of basic. That means that it has a higher concentration of hydroxide ions. Our acidic stuff, they have more hydrogen ions. Hydrogen, hydroxide. There's a difference. Acidic stuff tastes sour. Basic stuff, the more basic and alkaline it is, the more slippery and slimy it feels. But also, the more acidic and the more basic things get, the less likely you are to be handling them. So these are things that are just kind of acidic or just kind of basic on our scale. We're not going to handle things like bleach or battery acid, which are things that also have a pH score. We're not going to play around with those things today. Only things that are safe for us to play around with, okay? So we'll make safe choices. What are some other things that we could play with these noodles? Well, let's experiment and let's talk about it, because I know that there are more things around your house that you could use. Now think about that. Let's get started though, because I know you came here to see some noodles change colors. Let's start with baking soda. Let's go basic. And I just have a little plastic spoon, and I'm just gonna kind of fill my spoon up. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And I'm going to stir it in. And I'm going to watch, because my noodles that are currently looking blue-gray are going to change. And you might need to give it just a moment to see, because it definitely happens as they sit longer. You can already see the change taking place. Do these look different now? Yep, This one is looking green and this one is looking blue. Should we play with some acids like lemon juice? Let's do that. So we stir in a spoon of lemon juice. Stir, stir, stir. And keep an eye out because it is going to change color as I stir. Can you see it? It still looks kind of purple, but it's also turning pink. And I know that if I give it a moment to absorb this lemon juice, it's going to turn even more pink. So right now it's kind of a pinky purple. You see, this is how it was, and this is how it is. And it's turning that pinky purple because what is the pigment called? What's our big word? Anthocyanin. Yes, that is getting turned into a more acidic solution here. And it's reacting and changing colors. What else could we use? Well, try a little coffee. What about soap? How about some orange juice? You could try some salt water. What else? What else? There's vinegar. Try some vinegar. Try all of these different things. Try some soap. Did I say that? Shampoo. See what happens. What color does it turn? And what does that color tell you? Well, when it's this bluish, it's neutral. It is about a 7 on the scale from 0 to 14. It's right in the middle. When it's pink, it is less than 7. It is acidic. And when it is greater than 7, it starts turning green. And it's more basic, more alkaline. Really cool and fun. Great way to play with your food and learn. So I hope you try this at home and share your results with me on any of our socials. We would love to see your experiments. Hi friends, and thank you so much for joining me today. I can't believe we're already done. Those unicorn noodles were so cool. I hope you try that at home. You will be amazed. And I had a great time exploring the science of how those noodles did change color, of acidity and bases and neutral and all of those kinds of things that we don't always think about, but that can affect the color of things. Pretty cool. If you enjoyed this story time, I hope you'll tune in again for the next one or go back and check out some of our old ones. And if you enjoyed the story today, or you would like more stories so you can explore color some more, please check out my virtual bookshelf. And you can put the books on hold, come in and check them out, get them by curbside, or ask us for more books that you would enjoy. We love picking out books for people. So I hope you enjoyed this STEAM story time as much as I did, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So until then, keep exploring and asking questions. Bye, friends.